You're a particle physicist developing transporter technology. Then you notice that you haven't been transporting objects from one location to another, but from one universe to another. What do you do with such an astonishing discovery? That is what we explore in the 2017 film Alpha Gateway. How goes it, folks? Jolly Yellow talking to you, and welcome to Transmissions from the Beyond, where I explore lesser known and sometimes majorly known works of science fiction. Struggling against the possible loss of funding, Dr. Jane Chandler makes a breakthrough when she learns that she has figured out how to transport items to and from a universe that is very much like her own in nearly every way. When her husband is suddenly killed in a car accident, she chooses to find out just how similar this new universe is. So it is my intention with these transmissions, when I pick a film, a show, or piece of science fiction content, I want to go over some of the things that I did like and some of the things that I did not like, just to talk about them for a few moments. So first, let's go over what I did like. First, I will say the traditional premise of accidentally discovering how to cross the multiverse, that's always something that's been interesting to me, going back to the recent MCU movies where we have the multiverse of madness, going all the way back to the likes of Sliders and other movies where we're hopping across dimensions, multiple possibilities and things like that. That's just a solid classic story, easy premise to work with. But one thing that I believe Alpha Gateway does really well here is they're on the low end of the special effects. So this is a film that actually does show you don't need high value, great looking, top of the line, big budget CGI and special effects in order to pull off a science fiction movie. In fact, the effects are done pretty simply. It looks like it is mostly just flashing lights and a couple of edits to look like weapon discharge for firing weapons, and that's pretty much it. Low budget film. Something else that I think goes very well here is, at least here in the United States, because this is an Australian film, is that the cast, not very well known in the United States, even though if you look up the actors in the film, some of them actually do have a notable list of credits, but again, they're not huge AAA, blockbuster American Hollywood talent, but they are known and they have their respective resumes. Now, as for what I was not a big fan of, is this film, despite only being an hour and a half, feels a bit long. I think, truthfully, you probably could have gotten away with this in about an hour 10, hour 15. There's a couple of things you probably could have removed. Another thing that kind of got to me, or I think is of worthy note there, is the two leads between Jane and the gentleman that plays her husband. They didn't really feel like a believable couple, in my personal opinion. So along with the kind of the effects, and I understand, there's some multiversal travel, so maybe those differences was meant to be intentional, but I personally just was not feeling it. And then lastly, when it comes to the ending, I'm not going to spoil it, but I will say the ending, it almost felt like it came out of nowhere, and I don't want to say it's unexplained, but it's almost as if they unintentionally left it open for a possible sequel or some other sort of follow-up to the main movie. And who knows, maybe we'll get something like that one day. But just the things that I wasn't very much a fan of in contrast to what I was a fan of. And lastly, what type of explorer would I be if I didn't tell you how to go back and find the things that I discover and present to you? Alpha Gateway, when I watched this as of August 2025, it can be found on Amazon Prime Video. You can actually get it with the lower tier service. You don't have to go the ad-free or the higher tier to get access to Alpha Gateway. So if you do want to check it out and you already have Amazon Prime, you might as well go ahead and take the hour and a half and check it out. And that wraps up my discussion on the 2017 film Alpha Gateway. Have you by chance already seen it? Maybe I piqued your interest and you now want to go see it yourself. Thank you for taking your time to listen to me today. I'll be back soon as I continue to explore lesser known and sometimes majorly known works of science fiction. As always, keep exploring. Transmission over.